Good morning. This is the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Sunday, August 16th. We're looking at a gradual warming and drying trend underway. We have no significant additional wind or lightning events, although there could be some isolated storms in some eastern and southern areas in the coming days. And overall fire danger has lessened significantly. Most areas have seen fuels fall into the 50th to 70th percentile, except for parts of Idaho. A little bit drier there, as well as northwest Nevada, probably more in the 80th to 90th percentile. And overall drying is expected in the coming days, so we should see indices becoming a little more critical. Still some isolated storms. The next couple of days becoming less numerous as we go into Tuesday, and maybe a little bit of a 25 to 30 mile an hour wind into parts of the Snake River Plain. Otherwise, no significant issues on that end. Looking at our satellite imagery, we are starting to clear things out. There is some mid-level moisture in some of the clouds through here, but by and large, we should see a fair amount of sun along with somewhat drier conditions. Quite a bit of lightning in some areas, especially up in the north. But again, a lot of it on fairly wetter fuels, but enough where initial ignitions or IA could be picking up. You can see the precipitation in the past 24 hours. Some places did get over a quarter to a half inch of rain, especially the further east you go. And overall, in the past 7 days, widespread precipitation. You see the greens to yellows. That's a half inch to as much as pockets of 2 inches of rain through much of the area. Some parts of southwest Idaho and far northwest Nevada did miss out on most of it, as well as far southeast Utah. Interestingly, the moisture curved around that area. You can see new fire starts in the red, recent fires in the yellow. And overall, the ERCs definitely taking a nosedive down in most areas in the south and even central areas. But you can still see that they were still in the 80th, 90th percentile in some of our far western and northwestern areas. Overall, on the map, we have drier air moving into the area. See by the tannish shade here on the upper left-hand side. But there is some of that darker area, which is some mid-level moisture, enough for cumulus buildups and maybe some isolated storms. Overall, where the main weather feature is this high-pressure area. It's down in southern New Mexico, and it's kind of meander around southern areas over the next couple of days. You can see our 7-day, our driest areas are in Nevada, western Nevada, and western Idaho. And you can see a lot of the greens kind of shading over to yellow, so we are gradually drying things out. Winds, there'll be some breezes in parts of Nevada. You can see the darker green, that's 15 to 25 miles an hour, as well as parts of the central mountains of Idaho. And you can see on Tuesday, a bit of a tightening of the wind gradient. You can see some stronger winds in the central portion of the Snake River Plain. Relative humidity overall driest in western areas. The northern area is still quite moist, and we should see a continued drying trend overall spreading eastwards in the next couple of days. Precipitation, you can just see some scattered amounts in the northern areas, but also some over the Spring Mountains today, and then kind of retreating northwards and becoming a little bit less numerous in time. Now, as we go into the middle of this coming week, high pressure will start to reestablish itself over the four corners as we go to Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and that should start bringing a bit more of a monsoonal push into some of our western and central areas by the time we get into that period through there. But you see fuels still not quite getting into that critical status down in that area. They will be drying out further north and westwards. I'll have to watch some of that moisture as it heads further north. No significant wind issues. You can see the humidity starting to slowly dry out, especially in eastern areas. So we'll keep an eye on that, but still staying fairly high in our far northern areas of the Idaho and Wyoming forests. Now, precipitation on Wednesday, we could see some of that moisture pushing back into parts of southern and eastern areas, and you see a more consolidated plume pushing up into the Arizona Strip and maybe spreading into our central areas by Friday. And the model solutions differ, so we'll have to keep that in mind. Summing things up on the 7-day, gradual warming and drying trend. We don't have any high risk at the moment. We'll watch the lightning and see exactly where it goes, how far north or how far east that could change and we might have to issue some high risk later in the period, but still a bit more uncertainty. And definitely getting hotter as we go into the 6 to 10 day outlook. This will be valid August 21st to the 25th, and maybe somewhat above normal moisture just because the air mass might support some isolated or scattered monsoon-based thunderstorms. We'll see how that plays out. Concludes our briefing. Have a great day.